Well, here we go on the rear. You'll see that it is jacked up on the rear. So we can take the tires off. And this will be in continuance from the front brake pad video. I'm probably not going to do them in 2 separate videos. Like I thought, I'll just put them all into one longer video. Because, I mean, who's going to just do the fronts and not the rears most likely. So here's a little different angle. We'll start just like the fronts. Take this off with a 19 or 3/4. Does fit. Them are off. Set the impact back to 2. Set your wheel off to the side. Then, same as the front, take your pick on this top slider, make sure it's cleaned out. Your number 5 Allen. Whoops. Back the other way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 quarter turns. That helps anyone. If they forget to count. And then the 15. Sneak it in between that line, maybe. Forgot, I think I need an extension on this one. Or a wrench. Yep. Forgot about that. I'll grab the size 15 wrench quick. So we got 15. Get them loose. I like getting them both loose sometimes when I know they're going to be hard before I take one out, because then your caliper mount's just moving all over the place. But now we got those off. It's going to be the same process, but you'll see that this is a single piston. So then we only have to do this on one time and not be going back and forth. Now also on the rear, you'll see there's no flat spot as much. So just put it right on the head of that bolt. You're not going to be torquing that much to make any difference. So let me get this out here. Put it square on the head of that bolt. And then slowly again, twist it in. Your piston, if you're dead square, unlike how it was, seems like, oh yeah, that's probably also the problem with this one. You'll see this is binding. This in here, since we have this problem, might as well show you. I'll have to take a little longer, but this in here needs greased. They're binding like none other. So these 2 sliders need grease in them. I felt the other ones when I was doing the video, I guess I could have mentioned, well, I guess I did mention people grease them, but here's an example now of whenever they put brake pads on this last, even if they did do it, being a 2018, I'm sure they didn't yet. These now need grease to slide, and you can tell this was the one making the sound because the pad is gone. I'll show you up close here in a second. But yeah, that's why this piston also wasn't going in. So you got your mount back now. Now slowly slide that piston back. Now piston's back in there. Take your C-clamp off. Slide whatever side you can get off first, usually off. That mount's binding again, there we go. Blocking the camera. So then this side came off like this, which, there's the one. You can see that gap in there of the pad. This side came off like this. Look at how much of that pad is just gone. There's not much of a gap in between there. So I'm gonna take my new one. Oh, maybe. And again, try not touching the actual pad part, but take the new one. This one came out like this. Slide the new one in. Now that mount keeps binding. We'll grease that in a second, I'll show you. That one's in. And then I look down, this one came off just like this, which is really only one way, but OCD will get me sometimes. So I go like this, down, and this one's on. So now the pads are on. It's easier to grease them with them off, but for the sake of doing this video and showing you how the process is, that's how we put them back on. So real quick, I'm going to show you how to grease these and then go back to the point of in the video of where we were. Man, no wonder this pad was worn out. My goodness. So then, just like that, that comes out. I'm gonna go grab the grease gun. Keep everything in line in your hand like it goes. I'm gonna grease around here quick and then shove those back in there. Or if I wanted to bring the grease gun all the way over here right now, you can put it in there, but it's the same, it's gonna be essentially the same thing. I'll get enough grease on here that it'll slide in and be working like it should. Let me go grab some grease. Perfect, I got the grease dabbed on there just like that. And we can even take a little bit off of here, that's why I put extra on. And just put it right in front of the hole. Do not get any on the rotor itself, because that won't be good for stopping, but go like this. Get that in there. Grab a little off this one. If I were doing this normally and not a continuous video, I would have edited this part to do it properly with hands more free and whatnot, but I'm trying to keep it going. So then spread this grease around stem of this. This is plenty of grease for these. Now it's still in my hand how I took it off. So you'll take it, wipe the finger of grease. That's good that that happened though, because now you got an example of if yours is binding and dry like that, what to do. So back on we go. And just push it on as hard as you can, because then the boots will actually clip over where they're supposed to be. And then go back and forth a couple times. Get the grease everywhere where it needs to be. This is back in and greased up. We can put the pads back on. Slam this forward where it should be. No grease on pad. Pad on. Other pad on. Let the mount come out. Flip this now back down. Put the pad on each side of the rotor. It'll sit there, and then you'll do back to the Loctite game. Just a dab here. Too much once again. But that'll work perfect for both of these bolts. Line your bolt hole up, put the 15 in, line this one up, $15 in. Here's your other. Woo! Got enough on that one. Loctite on your cap. First, we'll tighten up these 15s. So now our Loctite's just done out of my head. Done with that. Top 15's tight. bottom 15 is tight. Them tools the other side. And then we'll put your plug back in, which I noticed some of the grease came through. Not a big deal. So here you can see that I had grease in where I wanted to put that plug. So instead of taking this whole time in the video to show you guys me cleaning grease, because we're practically done with this job, I wanted to speed it along, even though we were going step by step, but I didn't think that much grease was going to get into that plug spot. So here you can see I'm still cleaning it out, and it's in fast forward mode. So I finished cleaning it, but before then, I just wanted to end the video with what we actually have to do next, and that is what is coming up right now. Or maybe more like right now. See, and this is fast forwarded 3 times. So this is why I wanted to move it along, and here we go. Tighten that into there, roughly 1/4 inch, or 10 quarter turns is what we took it out. And we have each pad on each side of the rotor. Both 15s are tight. That cap is in there, 10 quarter turns. We'll put our wheel back on, lug nuts, get them lined up, tightened up in a star pattern, or up and down, side to side, with it being a 4-bolt. And then once we get that on, torque it to roughly 100 foot-pounds with the torque wrench once you let it down, and you're done. And just like the fronts being the same, and basically the same as the rears, but just a little difference. You have to use a wrench, and it's 1 piston, same process, but the rears are also the same. So there's an idea on how to save a couple $100 from taking it to the dealership, just by getting your own brake pads and doing it yourself. Something simple, and to say you did it.